Hello, today I am telling you about the terrible event that happened to me. Don't forget to write in the comments where you watched it. Now, let's move on to the story. I don't usually talk about the things that happened to me when I was a child, especially the ones that still find their way back into my dreams, but this one has been following me like a shadow for decades. Even now, in my 50s, I can close my eyes and the memory comes back with a clarity that feels almost too real, as if time itself refuses to let it fade. And every time it returns, I still see that same face in the dark. The house where I grew up wasn't dangerous or haunted or anything dramatic like that. It was just old. The kind of house that creaks even when there's no wind. The floors were wooden, the kind that made a soft knocking sound whenever you crossed the hallway. My mother used to say the house was alive, but in a friendly way, as if its noises were just part of its personality. I believed her for years. Then one night, I must have been around 8 or 9, old enough to sleep alone but young enough that the dark could still wrap itself around my imagination. My room was small, tucked at the end of the hallway, with a single window that faced a large oak tree. At night, the branches would cast shadows that moved gently on my walls. Sometimes they looked like hands, sometimes like long faces stretching across the ceiling. Usually, I tried not to pay attention. That night, everything felt unusually quiet. Even the oak tree seemed still, as if it was holding its breath. I had been asleep for maybe an hour when something woke me. At first, I thought it was just a dream fading away. But no, my eyes opened with a strange kind of alertness, the kind that reaches into your bones before your mind even understands what's wrong. I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel anything. I just knew something was there. My room had this narrow strip of darkness near the closet, right where the small lamp on my dresser could never fully reach. I had always ignored it. But that night, it felt like the darkness itself was watching me. You know that instinct you get sometimes, the feeling of being observed even when you're alone? That's what washed over me. Quiet, slow, heavy. I remember rubbing my eyes and squinting toward that corner. At first, it looked like just shadows. Nothing unusual. But then one shadow didn't move the way the others did. It stayed completely still while everything else shifted with the moonlight. And slowly, so slowly I thought I was imagining it, I realized it had a shape. A face. Not a detailed face, not something that looked human or threatening. It was more like the suggestion of one. Roundness where cheeks should be. A faint dip where eyes might sit. A slight curve like a mouth. But no features. No expression. Just presence. I blinked, waiting for the shape to disappear like shadows always do. But it didn't. It remained steady. Watching. My heart didn't race. I wasn't screaming. It was a strange kind of fear, the quiet kind, the kind where you don't know if you should move or stay completely still. And for some reason I can't explain, I felt like moving would have been the wrong choice, so I stayed there, frozen under my thin blanket, staring back at this faceless thing in the dark. And then something even stranger happened. I felt calm. Not safe, exactly. But calm, like whatever it was didn't mean to harm me. It felt more like curiosity. As if it was watching me the way a child might watch a firefly in a jar, fascinated but unsure what to do next. I remember whispering something, though I barely understood why. I said, "Who are you?" My voice was so small. I didn't expect an answer, and of course, none came. But the moment the words left my mouth, the shape drifted backward, slowly, like a breath fading into cold air. The darkness swallowed it, and it was gone just like that. The next morning, I told my mother what I saw. She listened quietly, brushing my hair with her fingers in that slow, comforting way she always did. She didn't laugh or dismiss it. Instead, she asked me a question I still think about to this day. "What did it feel like?" she asked, like it wanted to understand me. I said. She nodded, thoughtful, almost relieved. Then she told me something I didn't fully grasp at the time, that sometimes the past has a way of visiting us, not with intentions of fear or harm, but simply to be remembered. For years, I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe the shadows played tricks on me. But even now, after everything in my life has changed, after I've grown, lived, loved, raised my own children, that memory has never softened. It hasn't turned into something smaller or less real. It stays with me, intact, a quiet reminder that sometimes the things we can't explain aren't there to frighten us. Sometimes, they're just trying to be seen. And now, looking back with adult eyes, I think that face in the dark taught me something I didn't appreciate until much later, that not every unknown presence is an enemy. Some are simply moments in our lives where the world grows a little bigger, a little stranger, and somehow a little more connected. I still sleep with a lamp on, though. Old habits don't always leave easily. And every now and then, when the house gets quiet and the shadows seem a bit too still, I catch myself glancing toward the corners, not out of fear, just curiosity.